Morning children. We discussed in the previous class about the Himalayas. How does Himalayas origin? And three parallel ranges of Himalayas like Himadri. Himadri is called again Greater Himalayas. Himachal is called Lesser Himalayas. Shivaliks is called Outer Himalayas or the foothills of Himalayas. Next we discuss about the Indo-Gangetic plains. It is also classified into three parts. One is western part and central part, eastern part. Western part comes under the Indus River and central parts comes under the Ganga River. Eastern part comes under the Brahmaputra River. Today we will discuss about the Peninsular Plateau and Thar Desert. Today we are discussing about the physiographic divisions of Peninsular Plateau and Thar Desert. Till now we discussed about the Himalayas and Indo-Gangetic plains. Now we will discuss about the Peninsular Plateau. What do you mean by peninsular first of all? What do you mean by peninsular? A piece of land surrounding by the three sides of water is known as what? Peninsular. For example, we will take as a India only. We will take India. Here see, in the western part, Arabian Sea. In the eastern part, Bay of Bengal. Southern part, Indian Ocean. In the northern part, it is covered what as here for us? Himalayas, we can find here Himalayas. So a piece of land surrounding by three sides of water. In the western part covered by the Arabian Sea, in the eastern part covered by Bay of Bengal, in the southern part covered by the Indian Ocean. So India is known as comes on the part of what? Peninsular Plateau. What is meant by what? Completely Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau having what are the characteristics of the plateau? It is covered with the old crystalline, hard igneous rock, and metamorphic sedimentary. Sedimentary sandstones. The Peninsular Plateau, it's covered with the old crystalline and with hard igneous rocks. Means what do you mean by igneous rocks? Nothing but rocks are three types for us. One is primary rock, sedimentary rock, and we have some 3-4 types are there. Out of that one, when the volcanic eruption for us, through that the rocks will become, that is called as a primary rock or mother rock or as a igneous rock. And it is having the with metamorphic and sedimentary sandstone. These all having in the part. The topography of the plateau is slightly tilted to eastern part of our country, and the Peninsular Plateau having the different type of highlands we can find. Different type of highlands we can make divide into the broadly two parts are there. One is Central Highlands. Second is what? Deccan Plateau. One is what? Central Highlands. Second is what? As a Deccan Plateau. Central Highlands. Another name of Central Highlands is called what? Malwa Plateau. What is that? Malwa Plateau. And second one is what? Deccan Plateau. Second one is what? Deccan Plateau. First one is what? Central Highlands or Malwa Plateau. The Malwa Plateau is located in the western part of our country, and the Deccan Plateau is here in the part of to the south of Vindhya range. And here we can find in our country. For example, if you observe here we can find Narmada River, Satpura range, and Vindhya range and Satpura range we can find here. So to the south of Satpura range we can find the Deccan Plateau. To the south of Satpura range, which is having in the triangular shape, which is having here what? Triangular shape of landmass. To the south of Satpura range, which is having triangular shape of landmass, is called what? Deccan Plateau. So here when you compare to plateaus and plains, plateaus are not as well as grow like plains crops in our country. Why? Why does the plateaus are not suitable to grow as well as like plains in our country? Why does the plateaus are not suitable to grow crops as well as plains in the plateaus question. 2 more questions very important for us. For example, plateaus are having, just now we discussed about the what? Old crystalline and hard igneous rocks, metamorphic and sedimentary and sand stones we discussed just now. So here also it is completely covered with the rocks and mineral resources. Rocks and mineral resources. And in the plateau there is no perennial resources here. There is no perennial river sources. There is no perennial river sources. Why? Because we already discussed in the previous just now only what perennial means nothing but the rivers which will be flow throughout the year due to rainfall as well as glaciers or snow melting. That is called what? Perennial. So in the plateau there is no source of perennial rivers in our country. That is why here the plateaus are not suitable to grow as well as plains in our country. It is consist of what? Rocks and mineral resources. If they want to go for second crop, they have to depend upon wells or tube wells. That is why the plateaus are not suitable as well as plains to grow in the crops in our country. We can write. Next, to the south of Satpura range, a triangular landmass is known as what? Deccan Plateau. What is called that one? To the southern part of Satpura range, a triangular landmass is called what? Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau having few boundaries. What is in the part of north and what is in the south, what is in the east, what is in the west, we should know here about the Deccan Plateau. In the northern part of Deccan Plateau formed as a Satpura range. Western part having Western Ghats, southern part having Nilgiris, eastern part having Mahadev range, Michael range, and few part of Kaimur. And eastern Ghats also form as a here boundary. In the northern part what? Satpura range, western part Western Ghats, in eastern part Mahadev range, Michael range, Kaimur range, and eastern Ghats as well as form as a eastern boundary. And for the southern boundary we can find what here? Nilgiris. Deccan Plateau, the northern part having the Satpura range as well as in the eastern part Mahadev range, Michael range, and Kaimur range, as well as in the western part Western Ghats, in the eastern part Eastern Ghats, southern part Nilgiris. These are forming as a boundaries of the Deccan Plateau. When you compare to the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats are narrow and it is having the 1600 kilometers of the height, and somewhere it is raised with the 2000 meters height. Western Ghats are narrow and Western Ghats having some places rising with the height of 1600 meters height, and somewhere it is increased the what? 2000 meters height. Here the Western Ghats at the same time near Gudaluru, Nilgiris will be joined with the Western Ghats. Near Gudaluru, Western Ghats join with the Nilgiris. Here the Western Ghats, highest peak in the Western Ghats, Annai Mudi is the highest peak in Western Ghats, and it is also highest peak in the Annamalai hills also. Highest peak in the Annamalai hills. Here we can find something very important. The Annaimudi is the highest peak in Western Ghats. The Annaimudi is the highest peak in Annamalai Hills. The Annaimudi is the highest peak in Peninsular Plateau. The highest peak Annaimudi is in the South India also. The one word can make for us 4 different types of questions in the 1 mark examination point of view. Annaimudi is the highest peak in Annaimalai Hills. Annaimudi is the highest peak in South India. Annaimudi is the highest peak in the Peninsular Plateau. Annaimudi is the highest peak in the Western Ghats. The 4 ways they may be asked in examination purpose. Next, the highest peak in Nilgiris is Dodabetta. Dodabetta. Dodabetta is the highest peak in Nilgiri Hills. Here, what is the average elevation of the Dodabetta means 2635 meters height, Dodabetta, and Annaimudi is 2695 meters height. 95 meters height is there. The Annaimudi, how much highest peak? We can find here 2695 meters height. Annaimudi is the highest peak in Western Ghats as well as in Annamalai Hills as well as in South India or Peninsular Plateau also. Dodabetta is the highest peak in the Nilgiri Hills. The 2635 meters height is there here. Here, Palani Hills in Tamil Nadu state. Annaimudi, Cardamom Hills. Annaimudi, Cardamom Hills. They both are belong to Kerala state. These are located in the. They may be asked in examination. Locate the Cardamom Hills is in which state, or locate the state where the Annaimudi is located here. Palani Hills in Tamil Nadu, Cardamom Hills and Annaimudi Hills is in Kerala state. Here, when you observe, we can find some more hills are there. I will write down one by one here. One is like Seshachalam Hills, Nallamala Hills, Velikonda Hills, Palakonda Hills. Like that, few hills are here. Nallamala Hills, Velikonda Hills, Palakonda Hills, Seshachalam Hills. Few hills are located in the part of here. These all we can find here. Seshachalam Hills we can find where in the Chittoor district. Palakonda we can find some here Kadapa district. Velikonda, Nallamala, some Kurnool, and in Telangana area, AB area, both are located here. Velikonda Hills is all are there. Till now we discussed about the Western Ghats. Now we will discuss about the Eastern Ghats. Here the Western Ghats are narrow, we discussed till now, and when you compare to Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats are continuous, we discussed here, and coming to the part of that Eastern Ghats are not continuous, having some part of here ways and pass are there. Why? Because most of the rivers are originate in the Western Ghats only in our country, and the Deccan Plateau is tilted to the eastern part. Deccan Plateau is tilted to the eastern plus having some part of slope to the east. So all the rivers are originated in the Western Ghats and flowing, and they are joining in the Bay of Bengal Sea only. Most of the seas are joining in the Bay of Bengal only. That is the why here in the eastern parts they form few deltas here. They form few deltas like Krishna Delta, Godavari Delta, Kaveri Delta. That's why here Eastern Ghats is not continuous, we can find. We will discuss now about the Eastern Ghats. In Eastern Ghats, the highest peak is Aramakonda, which is having the 1680 meters height. It is located in AB, Andhra Pradesh state, Visakhapatnam district at Chintapalli. Second highest peak we can find in the Andhra Pradesh only, in the Eastern Ghats, Mahendragiri Hills will come. That is second matter. The Aramakonda is the highest peak in the Eastern Ghats, which place is located in Andhra Pradesh state, Visakhapatnam district Chintapalli place. What is the height of that one? 1680 meters height. When you compare to Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats are having to the western coast, in the western side, it is continuous, having few passes are there, and Eastern Ghats are not continuous. Why? Because the few which are having the Godavari river is originated in the Maharashtra state, and Krishna river also originated in the Maharashtra state in the Western Ghats. These are flowing to the eastern part and joining in the Bay of Bengal. So that's why here forming few deltas are there: Krishna delta, Godavari delta, Kaveri delta. So here the Eastern Ghats are formed from the way Odisha to here till Tamil Nadu. In the western part from Gujarat to we can take until here where if you take example Gujarat, Maharashtra, this all comes from the part of till here Kerala state in the western part and eastern part here. One more remarkable feature of the Peninsular Plateau, it is having the volcanic activity. The block soil was here there. The block soil is most important for the growing of crop of cotton crop. Peninsular Plateau. If you observe the Peninsular Plateau, the map, the physical map here, we can find here, see, the Western Ghats. Along with the Western Ghats, we can find the coastal plains. Is called what? Western coastal plains. To the eastern part, we can find these not continuous here. It is called what? Eastern Ghats. And next, it's called coastal plains. Eastern coastal plains we can call here. When you compare to Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats are having continuous with a height of 1600 meters height, and some ways it can find 2000 meters height. The Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats are intersect at Nilgiris. Here we can find. Next, why does the Eastern Ghats are not continuous? Because the rivers are originated in the Western Ghats and which are flowing to the eastern side. Why? Because the Deccan Plateau having here little bit tilted to the eastern slope. So the rivers are originated in the western part, in the Western Ghats, and they drain in the Bay of Bengal. Here we can find some, see, Godavari Delta, Krishna Delta, Kaveri Delta. And here coming to the Malwa Plateau, the Narmada River north we can find Vindhya range. To the Narmada River south we can find Satpura range. And next to the east of the which Malwa Plateau we can find here Chota Nagpur Plateau, which is very rich in the mineral resources. It is very rich in mineral resources. And sometimes it is compared like as the Indian Ruhr. Why? Because in the Germany country also having the Ruhr Valley, which is very high in the iron and coal deposits. So it is compared with the Germany country. So it is called what? Chota Nagpur Plateau is called what? As a Indian Ruhr Valley we can call. Here, if you find here to the western part, the Aravalli range is here. To the Aravalli range, to the western part, if you take here we can find what here? Thar Desert, the Great Indian Desert we can call it. The Great Indian Desert we can call it. We know most of the rivers are drained in the Bay of Bengal only. Few rivers are there which are called as the west flowing rivers, which you can call as a west flowing rivers. Example, first one, Narmada, and right here. Narmada, Tapi or Tapati, Mahi, Sabarmati. West flowing rivers. Narmada River, Tapati or Tapi River, Mahi River, Sabarmati. These rivers are west flowing rivers we can call in our country. West flowing rivers, and they drain in the Arabian Sea. And we can call one more here important point of the Narmada River. Rift Valley rivers. Rift Valley rivers. The largest Rift Valley river in our country. Largest Rift Valley river in our country means Narmada River only will come for us. Next, the Western Ghats and coastal plains are there. Western Ghats are continuous and Eastern Ghats are not continuous because the rivers are here forming the deltas. Godavari Delta, Krishna Delta, Kaveri Delta, and next here Mahanadi Delta. This we can find here some part of the physical map of the Peninsular Plateau the Ghats and hills. Here we can find some hill stations we can find in the previous class only. For example, like Palakonda Hills or Ooty Udagamandalam, and next Sheshachalam Hills in Chittoor district. These all we can find here in the physical map. Now we will discuss about the Thar Desert. What are the qualities of the Thar Desert? The Thar Desert is located in the western part of our country in Rajasthan state. Where? In Rajasthan state, and it is to the leeward of Aravalli range. Aravalli range. For example, if it is here Aravalli range, this side you will get more and more rainfall, and here there will be no rainfall. It is a rain shadow area. This side we can find what here as a Thar Desert. That's what I said here, leeward of Aravalli ranges. And here very high temperature we can find, and low rainfall we can find here, low vegetation also. Here rains we can find, rainfall we can find here, but very less, from 100 to 150 millimeters only. 100 to 150 millimeters only. Streams are here appears. Streams are here appears during the rainy season, and sometimes it will be disappear as soon as possible only. As soon as possible here. And here we can find undulating sandy and high temperature, low rainfall, low vegetation. Next, here the one and only river will flow in Thar Desert, that is called what? Luni River. What is the river name is called what? Very most important, Luni River. The river which flows here, and it will be only drain in this state. It will be never join in the Arabian Sea also. It will be never join in the Arabian Sea also. It not join in the Arabian Sea or in the Bay of Bengal. Why? Because it is flowing to the part of western only. It is flowing in the Rajasthan state in Thar Desert. The one and only river we can call, that is Luni River. It drains here internal only. And next we have one more important point regarding about the in this state only, Indira Gandhi Canal. What is the name? Indira Gandhi Canal. 650 kilometers length, the longest or largest canal in India we can call Indira Gandhi Canal. It irrigates so many acres in the Rajasthan state. The Thar Desert, it is located in the Rajasthan state, or we can call the Great Indian Desert. It is the leeward side of Aravalli range. The rainfall occurs here 100 to 150 millimeters only, and to the Aravalli here rain shadow we can find the Thar Desert. Here what we can find? The undulating sandy soil here, high temperature we can find, low rainfall how much? 100 to 150 millimeters only, and you can find here low vegetations. And here we can find the one and only river which is flowing here in this desert, Luni River. And to irrigate the canals, to irrigate the here agriculture sector, to start agriculture in this state, they had drained the what? Indira Gandhi Canal, which is the longest canal in India with 650 kilometers. This is about the Thar Desert or islands.
We discussed the Himalayan mountains and northern plains. Today we will discuss about the Peninsular Plateau and the Great Indian Desert. So without any delay, shall we begin? First we will discuss about the Peninsular Plateau. Now the Peninsular Plateau is a tableland composed of the old crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks. The plateau is believed to be the oldest land. It's a tableland composed of igneous metamorphic rocks. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land, thus making it part of the oldest landmass. The plateau has broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills. The plateau consists of two broad divisions, the Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. Now the Deccan Plateau you are seeing here, the Central Highlands. There is an extension, that's the eastern extension. The part of the peninsular plateau lying to the north of the Narmada River, covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau, is known as the Central Highlands. To the north of Narmada River, you can see here, this is Narmada, this is Tapi. Right. The Vindhyan range is bounded by the Satpura range in the south and the Aravalis in the northwest. You can see here, this is the Vindhyan range, right? You can see here the Vindhyan range, Satpura, Aravali range here, right? The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and the rocky desert. If you still go west, it is the desert. The flow of the rivers draining this region, namely Chambal, Sindh or Indus, Betwa, Ken, from southwest to northeast, thus indicating the slope. So, alright, the rivers are here. The Central Highlands are wider in the west but narrower in the east. The eastward extension of this plateau are locally known as Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand. Probably locating Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand, it would be here. I think in the next one I can tell you more about that one. Northeastern Plateau. Now the Chota Nagpur Plateau makes the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. Now this is the northeastern plateau. Mainly it has Karbi Anglong Plateau and Meghalaya Plateau here. The Deccan Plateau is a triangular landmass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. The Satpura range flanks its broad base in the north. This is the next one. In the Deccan Plateau, we'll see Mahadev, Kaimur, Maikal range form its eastern extension. You have to locate these hills in the ranges in the physical map of India. The Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slopes gently eastwards. An extension, as I told you here, is the Northeastern Plateau, Karbi Anglong Plateau, north. If you see here, it is separated by a fault from Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now I'll just go back to the previous picture here. Now this, yeah, the extension is here. This is the Northeastern Plateau separated by the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Three prominent hill ranges from the west to the east are Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. Garo, Khasi and Jaintia hills. Garo hills somewhere here. Jaintia and Khasi hills are here. Now you can see here, this is the tableland that we were talking about, not like a mountain, right? And these are the Deccan Plateau. Main hill ranges in Deccan Plateau would be the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So we will study the differentiating between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. This question sometimes is asked for the exam. Western Ghats run parallel to western coast, that is the Arabian coast, and forms the western of Deccan Plateau. Western edge runs parallel to the eastern coast, that is the Coromandel coast, stretch from the Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiris in the south. Higher average height is 900 to 1600. Lower that of Western Ghats average height is 600 meters. Are like a continuous wall, cannot be crossed, but there are some ways to cross it, that is through only passes. Like Thalghat, Borghat, Palghat, right? These are discontinuous and irregular, have been dissected by rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal. The rivers which drain into the Bay of Bengal have dissected, so they are not continuous like Western Ghats. It is the source of many large rivers like Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. No big river originates in the Eastern Ghat. Causes orographic rainfall by facing the rain-bearing moist winds to rise along the western slopes of the Ghats. What is orographic rainfall? I'll just explain here. If this is the mountain, when the wind gets cooled, condensed, right, it cannot go this side because it is struck by the mountains. So it will give rainfall to here, this area. And this area, it won't be any rainfall, right? It's a rain shadow area. It will become a rain shadow area, leeward side and the windward side. This area, we are here, the Western Ghats, and we are here, Dakshina Kannada, Madikeri, right? Kerala. Now, because we are here, you'll see here, this is the coast, Arabian coast, Konkan coast, Malabar coast, right? Now, this type of the rainfall is called orographic rainfall. Now, it receives rainfall only in winter season, that too through the northeastern monsoon. Don't worry about this one. We are going to study what is different types of rainfall, what is the pattern of rain in the climate chapter. The height of the Western Ghats progressively increases from north to south. Highest peaks include Anemudi at 2695 meters and Doddabetta. Whereas here the highest peak is just at 1501 meter, that is Mahendragiri. Remember this for MCQs. Here it is Anemudi and here it is Mahendragiri. Now let's move on to the next one, that is the Great Indian Desert, Thar Desert. To the northwest of the Aravalli, we'll see Aravalli range here. To the northwest of Aravalli, you see the Great Indian Desert. It's a land of undulating topography dotted with the longitudinal dunes and barkans. I'll explain you about that one. See, undulating is undulating, right? Not straight. Barkans, if you have seen, we'll see crescent-shaped barkans formed like in a sand. It is formed like this. Oh, so like the sand, not like a straight one, right? Like probably like this. This region receives low rainfall below 150 millimeter per year, hence it has arid climate. Arid means sandy, with low vegetation cover. Whatever you see will be dates, some other trees, right, which require very low rainfall. It is because of these characteristic features that is this place is also known as Marusthali, desert area. Though the underlying rock structure of the desert is an extension of the peninsular plateau, due to extreme arid conditions, its surface have been carved by physical weathering and wind actions. So the geologists say that the underlying rock structure belongs to the peninsular plateau, because you can see here, right, the central highlands. But what is the problem is, because of extreme weathering and wind actions, now all we can see is sand. Some of the well-renowned desert land features present here have mushroom rocks, shifting dunes, and oases, mostly in the southern part. You might have heard about oases where the water is available. On the basis of the orientation, the desert can be divided into two parts. The northern part sloping towards Sindh, that's going into Pakistan, Afghanistan, and the south towards the Run of Kutch, right? There is a very famous national park in the Run of Kutch. If you know, you can put it in the comment box down below. Most of the rivers, rivers in this region are non-perennial. I told you there is the presence of the barkans, right? Sand dunes, like a crescent-shaped sand dunes. And the river that flows here is the biggest river is the Luni River, flowing in the southern part of desert. The only large river in this region is of some significance. Barkans, I told you already. Now the river Luni originates in the Pushkar Valley. This is Pushkar, and it drains in Rann of Kutch. Rann of Kutch. Look at this river. This is not a deep river, it's a shallow river, and it is salty and sweet at some parts. Not good for agriculture, they say. Read about the river Luni. So that brings us to the end of today's. We have studied about the
Today we discussed about the Peninsular Plateau and Thar Desert. Coming to the Peninsular Plateau, regarding about the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, which is the highest peak in the Western Ghats, which is the highest peak in Eastern Ghats. Annaimalai Hills and Annaimudi is the highest peak in the Annaimalai Hills, and highest peak in the Eastern Ghats we discuss about the Mahendragiri Hills and Armakonda, which is located in Visakhapatnam district at Chintapalli. And next, Malwa Plateau, Central Highlands, Rift Valley rivers, which is the largest Rift Valley river in our country, Narmada River we can call that. West flowing rivers, which we discuss about the Narmada River, Tapi River, Mahi and Sabarmati. And next, Thar Desert we discussed, which is the only one river flow in the Thar Desert, Luni River, and the longest canal in India, Indira Gandhi Canal, which irrigating for the lakhs of acres in the desert areas. Today, our topics. Highest peak in the Nilgiri Hills, we discuss about the Dodabetta, which is having 2637 meters, and the highest peak in the Annaimalai Hills is Annaimudi, which is having the 2695 meters height. These are all the topics we discussed today. Tomorrow we will discuss about the coastal plains, western and eastern coastal plains, and Lakshadweep Islands and Andaman Nicobar Islands.